I might have hit the go live button a little too early, but we're live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adrian, and you're listening to the 91st episode of the Unknown Games podcast. It sounds so much different when I say the 91st episode as opposed to episode number 91. Sounds so much more formal.
Yeah, we are live, aren't we?
Yeah, YouTube, it does that to you. But yeah, welcome to the podcast, everyone. If you're listening if you're joining, via YouTube, thanks for joining. And if you are listening via your normal traditional method of ear pods and phone, on your mobile device, like through iTunes or Spotify, those things, you're always welcome. I tried not to say if you're listening through your ears, I tried to avoid it.
Have you ever considered just like practicing like before we go live, like just repeating your
Never,
lines to be
never.
like,
We're at 91 episodes, and I have flawlessly delivered us into an
yep,
episode.
yep, apparently,
I've flawlessly delivered us into 91 episodes.
yep.
Yep. Yep. Well, anyways, the voices that you're hearing right now, of course, is myself, Adrian, as I already introduced, and my co-host of the most, one and only, the game duck himself, or the waterfowl, or AKA Chaos Incarnate, who is hopefully going to still be with us after 100 episodes because lifespans of ducks can be short.
Oh no, I'll
Ouch.
be dead. Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
considered like who you would want to co-host if I
no,
like
I've
die?
never, no, I've never considered who I'd want to co-host if you died. There's no one else in line after you. It's probably like what, Ehe? You want Ehe to take your spot?
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
You
Yeah, I'd
want
be
the
okay with that.
degenerate kid to take your spot? That sounds like a
Yeah,
hype. That's a hype nickname though.
the
The
degenerate
degenerate
kid.
kid.
I like. Yeah, that's pretty
It's
good,
fucking
actually.
hype.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
It's like a boss out of some beat 'em up or something like that.
the degenerate kid. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a fire nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
You like have to do it now. I'll just step down. I don't
You
care.
just have to step down and let the kid take his role.
It's really good, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, how have you been this week? How's it going? Life in Japan? What's up?
Uh Good. I don't know. When did we podcast last 7 days ago, right?
7 days ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been plain. It's just the same. So played games and then weekend and then now it's Monday again.
I will say that we have entered. I think the only thing that changed is that last week we didn't think we'd entered a rainy season of some sort, but this week I'm pretty sure like it rained every day last week,
Yeah,
day
it's been
and
pretty
night.
rainy. It's
Just
been really it's rainy, but I gotta say it's been actually like relaxing. It's helped me like sleep. You know what I mean?
I have been getting a lot more sleep.
It's just this gentle rainfall, just hitting my window, and I'm like, wow, that's really nice actually. So it's been good for sleep.
I mean, life without Apex helps as well for me, but
Life
but
without Apex.
yeah, life without
That's like
Apex.
that's like the name of like some book or something. Like Life Without Apex.
But I mean, yeah, it's been a good thing. I know, unfortunately, in Atami they had a huge landslide.
Mm-mm.
My parents called and were like, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like,
Mm.
"The heck? What are you talking about?" It's like we saw on the news, and so I was like, "No, no, we're pretty far away from that area. We're good."
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't like know, like because it's rainy season, this happens every year. It's not
It
completely
does,
unheard
it
of.
does.
But because it's rainy season, like it's just uh, a lot of areas. Some areas have been hit by landslides or affected by landslides, and um, nearby Tokyo, not like in Tokyo by any means or anything, but Atami, which is in Kanagawa, right? Edge of Kanagawa, basically, like really far essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
There was a landslide. Last I heard on the news, I think I heard 20 people were
we're
missing and
missing. Yeah,
5 people had died, maybe. Like,
it's around there. I think. Yeah, 20. I
yeah,
know 20 people were missing. And it does happen. I think it actually does happen like
pretty
once a
much every year,
year
every
in
year.
a,
Yeah.
a rural area where, there's a lot of hillside parts in Japan, especially in those rural areas and farming
Yep.
lands. So,
Yeah. The one thing that I'm like so certain of that I'm not gonna be like that I don't have to worry about it landslides in Tokyo or like Metro Tokyo essentially.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
like it's all concrete.
it's
It's all
concrete.
concrete.
It's just concrete,
The only thing that I am worried about in Tokyo is well, it gets
Earthquakes.
typhoons, earthquakes. What else we got here?
That's
That's
it,
pretty
I
much it.
think,
That's
right?
that's
Earthquakes
really it.
and
Yeah,
typhoons. I don't think
yeah.
fires count. Everyone has to worry about fire.
Where I live right now, actually,
Your building is
te
fireproof?
technically tsunami, but only the most intense tsunami. It has to be like stronger than like the March 11th tsunami.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
I think even
yeah,
because you're near an area where I am, and I'm closer to the area that's actually got like, well, no, we're both near parts of the area that are man-made quote quote
yeah.
island
So like
sections.
technically, there's a tsunami risk to especially where I live right now.
Yeah,
But like I said, it's got to be like some world-ending tsunami, like stronger than the one from 10 years ago. So.
it's got to be right next to us.
I think I'm okay, but I don't, you
Better
never
start
know,
playing
right?
disaster report. Yeah, you never
Yeah,
know. Go play
yeah,
disaster report. Figure out your
mm,
escape routes. You never
yeah,
know. You never know, chat.
yeah.
Chat's not here. Chat, if chat is here, I'm looking at. I actually have the YouTube chat up for once.
Do you ever do you ever stream so often that you're like talking to chat but no one's there? You're like in the
Yes,
shower, like, what do
I
you
was.
think, chat?
I said that like it was like 2 days ago. I was talking and I said something like, "Oh yeah, chat." And I was like, "Chat's not here. I'm not even streaming. Like, what the heck am I talking to chat
That's
for?"
oh my god, that's no whatever. That's
The
good.
life of streaming. And speaking of streaming, you can follow myself at Ninja Tricks, NinjaTrix. I stream Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Currently playing Marco and the Space. Wait, sorry, Marco and the Galaxy Dragon, plus a little bit of Bloodstained. And where can we find you on the Twitch, Alex?
Um, yeah, it's twitch.tv/root24. It's root as in like a route. And yeah, I don't know. I stream Tuesday, Thursday at 9 p.m. JST. I'm still going through Dragon Quest. It's mostly Dragon Quest, but every
Yeah,
now and
yeah.
then you'll probably see me just streaming like something random. But yeah,
You were streaming a pro. Was it pressure washing or something
Power Wash
simulator?
Simulator on
Power wash
Thursday.
simulator. I was like,
It
what?
was pretty good actually. Yeah, I liked it.
It was calming. It was like satisfying.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill stream. I actually wasn't sure going into it. I was like, I don't know if I can stream this for 2 hours. Like, I don't know like if
I
I
I
can
didn't think
stream
you could
this.
either, but you did
Yeah,
something. You did
or
it.
like I don't even know if chat would like care about this game, but turns out it was fun. Like a lot of people were just chilling out in the stream. We were just talking about stuff for 2 hours. And the game doesn't have background music or anything, so I would just had like some lo-fi, music in the background.
It was really chill.
It was
It
pretty
was
cool,
really
yeah.
chill. I
Yeah,
think it's like
yeah.
one of those games where you can talk with chat really
Yeah,
easily too. Like
essentially, yes.
like
And
you were just
that's
washing a car for goodness sake, or the patio. I mean, that was
yeah, I was
tedious
doing
as
like I
heck.
did like a backyard. So I did 2 hours of just power washing. Chat came to chill. We were like listening to like lo-fi music. We did that for 2 hours, so I don't know. It was fun. If you want to
Yeah.
check that out, I don't know if I'll stream it again, but just in case, you can find me at Route 24. Yeah.
Check out the VOD for that. And I guess before we kind of get into the show completely, definitely shout outs to Virtually Talking. I think they have an episode that is going to be happening. I know that they recorded, so
Oh yeah,
get
yeah.
ready. Yo, get ready for that. Shout outs to Gua Gua. I should say her name more properly since she's now the number one VTuber
Are
on
you were
YouTube.
you shouting out
Yeah.
Guargura? Why?
Gua Gua. Cause she
I,
my girl, yo. I know
as
her.
if she actually listens to this
So
podcast.
someone's like, "Oh my goodness, kill this man! He's disrespecting." Uh,
As if she actually listens to this podcast.
and final shout outs to the CGC podcast.
Yeah, shout out to
There,
my personal friend Barack Obama.
hey, you never know. You never know who people know these days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I don't know her.
We should start doing that. We should start shouting. We should start shouting out like celebrities on the podcast. Be like,
Friend of
yeah,
the
shout out to
show, like yeah.
my personal friend. Yeah,
People were like, "Oh, do they really know them?" Yeah, yeah,
yeah, of
all the
course.
time.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima. I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, I met him a long time ago, but we have lunch every year
Yeah,
around this time when it gets TGS time starts cooking. We got to start talking about how we're gonna do our interviews.
with Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
She's probably looking to how to get onto TGS that press pass. I don't know. I don't know if the site is up right now for it. I assume that it is. It's like what 2 months, 2 months away. So the site has to be up for just like, hey, if you want to register, go ahead, submit your details.
Um, sure. Yeah, we should. I mean, if you want to try, go for it. What is it? The press? Like, how do
I
you?
I, I don't know. I think it's probably it's press, but under influencer. I think that's how you have to go instead of like media site or something like that.
Oh, here it is. Application forms. All right, download. Oh my god, I'm taking a look at this shit right
this,
now.
is, this man's about to go and apply live on the show, reading off the applications.
Well, they have two versions, one for Taiwan and one for not Taiwan. Like, I'm
Oh
not
no,
kidding.
that's awkward. That is
I'm really not
that
kidding. Yeah,
that
and
sounds
there's
awkward. That
two versions of the
wow.
application. Is like what if you are in Taiwan, it's this application. If you're not in Taiwan, so basically like the rest of the world, it's like the other application.
What the
Yeah,
nani nani
download the
nani?
zip file right now. It says like yeah, there's
if
two
you
PDFs in
if
this
you
folder right
are
here.
in Taiwan or if you are not, so is but there's nothing else. That's it. Taiwan or not Taiwan. So
Yeah, so the zip file that I downloaded right now, it
Taiwan and
says
the
like
rest of
it
the
just says like
world.
TGS 2020 online application form Taiwan.pdf and then worldwide.pdf. Those are the two PDFs that are in the zip file.
I mean,
So
I mean, we understand the cultural implications of it, but that is it. Okay, cool.
holy shit. Sorry. Do you want to? I don't know if you want to
Are
like show this on stream or anything right now, but like,
is it actually? I don't know if we can share it on stream. I don't know. I don't want to take a risk on it.
it's on the website. It's like a public forum. It's you can anyone can download it. But if you want to apply to have a booth at TGS, it's
If you want to have a booth, and the booths are smaller. We went over. I think we went over this
it's a
maybe, but they're
TG
smaller.
I mean, I wish we could show this on stream right now, but like,
I mean, I can.
uh,
I guess I can download it. Or can you send me the link and then I'll download it for anyone who is listening in your ear. Go ahead, check out the YouTube channel. I'm telling y'all, we'll do fire content here. Actually, you can just see our faces and while we
here
talk.
I'll just send this to you on I'll just DM you on Discord here. So that's the zip.
Okay. Uh,
But this application form, the deadline is passed, by the way, so don't even bother filling
what?
this out. Yeah,
Surreal. Wait.
this isn't for influencers. This is for exhibitors.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
Which
you should still show this on stream because it's pretty
I'm
entertaining.
looking for what is this? Non-Tokyo.
You, you
Just
want,
either one.
I guess, just worldwide.
Okay, worldwide. There we go.
Yeah,
My link was cutting off, so I just saw Taiwan. I didn't see Taiwan. It was just like
yeah.
form.
So show this on stream. So if you want to just be, you just want to have a booth, right?
Yeah, let me
It's
capture this really quick.
yeah.
Window capture. So if you just want to have a booth, yeah, where it's captured now.
This is definitely something like you. This isn't meant for like, oh, I made a game in Flash and I want to show
Yeah.
the world. Like, yeah, go ahead, zoom in on those prices, zoom in on the
Oh,
application types. Yeah.
so for application types we have the online exhibit, which hold up, for the online exhibit that means you're not even like actually there, right? It's just like
Mm.
your virtual presence. That
Yeah.
is
So
around
right here, it's like what?
2000 bucks.
Yeah. So like, what kind of exhibition? General exhibition, business B2B. So you're not even showing a game. You're here to like make business contacts. Maybe you're doing distribution for games or something like that, or pressing. I don't know. Or maybe you make merchandise. Game school, indie game, or merchandise sales, like you're just selling T-shirts or something like that.
Mhm.
Just if you just have an exhibit, it's 220,000 yen, so about $2,000 basically. Yeah.
But after
Um,
that it's that's insane. Then the next one.
yeah. If you want to be an official program, if you want to be an official program of TGS, like I guess that I presume that means like you get some kind of promotion on their website, that kind of thing. It's 3 million yen, so that's
That's
like
like
what
what,
thirty
thirty
thousand
thousand
dollars. Yeah,
dollars.
thirty
It's
thousand
almost 30, yeah,
dollars.
$30,000 for a, well, maybe I guess a little bit less, but somewhere around there. But that's for, and it says general slot versus like golden slot, which
Golden
is the next
slot,
one.
which is the higher, like you get you get
Yeah,
shown off a little more.
which
That's
I
forty
assume
thousand
golden.
dollars.
I assume that because on the website last year they did have like golden slot slash like golden time kind of thing. So
Mm,
maybe that's like the 9 p.m. like when people will tune in the
yeah,
most,
yeah,
like that. So that's almost like $40,000.
yeah. And then there's another one for trial play exhibition. I think that's just like for, I presume if you have like a demo to show off or something like that, maybe
You're right.
that's like a $10,000 or so. It's like eight
Almost
thousand dollars. Yeah.
8,000,
Yep.
which that is those are some prices right there.
Yeah. To be clear though, this is meant for legitimate this isn't meant for you and I to be like, hey,
No, no, this is
I made a game in Unity. Let's check this out. This is meant for like Capcom to be like, oh, obviously
right,
Capcom,
right,
and that's and in the way that video game companies operate, this is already factored into their financial budget. Like it's not like, you know what I mean? Like they've already factored in this in their costs, so
right. I mean,
they're
they're
not gonna be
not.
like, yeah,
They're not checking out going like, oh my goodness, I can't afford this. I mean,
yeah.
these prices honestly aren't meant for anyone who's making an in the traditional sense in indie game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
Or
indie game
students.
developing. I mean, we're getting off topic, but this is kind of interesting in its own in its own right. But I mean, you'll notice that indie game is one of the checkboxes for that application form, right?
It is. It is.
So yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I
I
although
don't know.
I presume if you are an indie developer, you're probably not doing the goal. I presume you're not going to be
No, no,
checking
you're just doing
golden
the
slot.
maybe the online exhibit. That seems like
Yeah,
the most
you're probably doing
reasonable
exhibit.
right
You might be
there.
doing like an exhibition area booth or something like that. That's if you have an on-hand demo at TGS, that kind of thing.
Right, right.
And you know, I've been to TGS a couple times, and they do like indie developers definitely do show up and they do have booths
I
running.
mean,
So
they're in the indie corner for I mean for
yep,
the most part. There's I mean there's the cultural like the culture corner where they have indie games. Typically, it's indie games or mobile games from different corners of the world. You know, you'll have Poland, you'll have the
yep,
Philippines, Malaysia, that kind of thing, and then there's like the Nintendo. It's either Nintendo or Sony sponsored, even though Nintendo's not at the show or anything. They do sponsor the indie area, which is just a 30, 40 kind of indie games. They're just all lined up with the developers. Like, hey, you want to play my game? I don't know if that
yeah, yeah.
falls under like I don't know if Nintendo essentially or whoever was sponsoring that
I
corner
mean,
like.
probably gives them a little bit of kickback or something like that. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like I don't know if essentially that's what that was like a part of. Like they would front some of the funds for one of these
Oh yeah,
booths.
yeah. They might. Yeah, they might. Yeah. Like oh, if like your game is like exclusive to Switch or something like that, we'll give you like a kickback or you'll give you some kind of incentive or something like that.
Right,
Like
right.
maybe we'll give you a higher cut of sales from the eShop. I don't know how it works. I don't make games, but yeah.
Crazy.
Um, I think what's interesting is that if you do go to TGS, there's more than just video games. At least in more recent years, you can go to TGS and you'll see companies show up and with huge booths, by the way.
Those cell
Um,
phone 5G.
yeah, and they're not like gaming companies. Docomo was there last year, 2 years ago rather, sorry, with a huge ass like 5G gaming
I
booth.
mean
It's
they
huge.
were
It was
huge. It was
huge. It
huge.
was
It was taking.
so big.
Well, there's certain times in TGS where they don't have any like there's not any big things to showcase, and those bigger booths like those smaller things that you wouldn't care about become bigger presences. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so 2 years ago
why?
when I went in person, there was Docomo. It's a Japanese cell phone company, you know, pimping their 5G network. They're like, if you're a mobile gamer, it's got to be 5G. I'm like, well, first off, I mean, no,
It didn't
but
even matter if you were a mobile gamer. It's just if you were a gamer, we got 5G. Get
yeah,
your internet hooked
5G,
up to
yeah,
5G.
5G.
It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
so Docomo's there. Samsung was there to show
Yep.
off their SSDs. They're like, oh, like,
Hmm.
you know, real PC gamers use a Samsung NVMe drive.
I know.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know if Alienware's always been there or if they've been there like
Uh,
a couple of times. Like if they've just recently started. I know they're
yeah, I
typically
don't
there for
know.
like maybe FF 14. I know that they've been there for that a couple times, and they were there
I can
for
see how
a couple.
Alienware
Yeah.
and you know I think Corsair is also there. I can see how they justify going because they sell gaming peripherals. So if you're a gamer, you are probably also a customer of Alienware or Corsair or something like that, right?
They don't even have their goods on stage though.
Um,
It's just like it's just their stage show. I feel like they just have a stage show.
well, I know Corsair had like an actual booth when I
Oh,
went
okay.
when yeah, Corsair you could see their like they had PCs, they had yeah, they had like pre-builts and then they had Corsair at the Corsair owns Elgato by the way, if you didn't know that.
Oh,
So
really? Okay. Okay.
yeah, so you went to Corsair's booth and it's like here's the Elgato Stream Deck, here's like this key light, you know. So I can see the overlap,
They
but
also had I mean, they had gaming chairs there too.
yeah, so AK Racing was there 2 years ago to be
Hmm.
like gaming shares, and I can see how like AK Racing can justify going because there's overlap between people that buy video games and people that buy gaming shares.
Right. Right.
Um, Same thing with Alienware, you're gonna need a thing to play your game on. But Docomo, I'm not sure. I mean, that's
5G, man.
yes,
5G. You got
we
it.
all have cell
5G, man.
phones. We all have
5G.
cell phones, yeah.
5G. Get yourself a 5G.
Samsung is just like, yes, I know my gaming PC needs to have some kind of SSD or something like that, but like still.
Well, here's the thing. Like even in Japan, like, and I know if you've watched older E3s or older conferences of or not conferences but just like these exhibition shows, there's always kind of like the models on the show floor that's not a thing that's not a thing these days, except in
Mhm.
Japan. Except Japan. I don't know why Japan still does it. I mean, it's because here's the thing: when you're walking around, it is one of the most annoying things. to see a bunch of guys, like sweaty big guys, like clamoring around like some girl and then taking pictures, and you can't even get through them. You
Yeah,
can't like
yeah,
move.
yeah.
It just clogs up the inside of the tunnel, or not the tunnel, but you're trying to get to point A to
Tunnels. What
point
the
B.
fuck?
It might as well be a tunnel at that point,
What
man. It's
TGS are
like
you at? Yeah.
TGS in the hole, bro.
But no, I think just on the topic of booth babes, real quick.
That's
In
all
recent
Samsung
years,
had though, was
yeah,
a girl holding
in
a hard
recent
drive.
years across in other countries, there's been pushback against booth babes because it's like it's not. I don't know. Like I think what's the word? Like public opinion has changed, I guess, and it's, people are like maybe this isn't right. You just can't use attractive women to sell your products or something like that.
Right, right.
Um, Japan is still doing it. Japan's still doing it. But
Japan's still doing it. Yeah,
yeah.
there's no.
At Konami's booth though, 2 years ago, they didn't have booth babes though. They had like
They
muscly
had these
dudes.
muscly
They
dudes.
had
Yeah,
buff dudes.
them buff
Yeah.
dudes were out, man. I was like, wow, these guys are
Yeah.
buff.
I was like, holy shit,
Is
Konami.
it was it Sega, and they always had the Yakuza booth, the Ryu Gokoku,
Yes, yeah, and
with
they always
the
have
AV.
like
I think
what
are there AV models? Sometimes every once in a
sometimes,
while,
yep.
yeah, they'll have
Yep.
the AV models out. If they're in the game, they'll be there certain times for the
Well,
promotion.
they're not performing pornography at
No,
TGS.
no,
To
no.
clarify, they're just there. Like, yes, I am indeed this AV actor. I'm this adult actress,
Yeah,
and I appear in Yakuza, and I'm here in person promoting Yakuza. So I mean,
for sure.
it's
Last time they
yeah.
had a girl in a tub of money. I mean, of course they're fully clothed and everything. It's just they're selling the essence of the game and the series. Uh, and so that's just the Yakuza booth. Whereas opposed to the Persona, I don't think Atlas ever has any Persona models out, right? I
No,
don't
I was at Sega Atlas 2 years ago. They just had like they had like booth attendants, but they weren't like models. They were just
models or
normal.
dressed
They were
up
just
as
like people. There's like yes, I'm
dude. The Capcom the Monster Hunter peeps, like, bless their hearts. It's hot. It's hot in there.
mm,
It's hot in there, but they're rocking full Monster Hunter armor.
yeah, it
Like
sucks for
like really
them.
good armor, but it is it is it's hot in there. I feel.
Mm. Well, how are we even on this topic? What's the
We were talking about how our good friend Hideo Kojima, we know him, we talk to him every once in a while, give him a shout
Yeah,
out.
you might as well change the show notes after the fact because we like that was a hell of a tangent. Like that's basically just a segment of the show now. So,
That was actually a segment. That was a full on segment of the show.
anyways, moving on. What's in the news?
News. What's in the news? We're gonna switch on over to the. Oh, you got it.
Like what?
I thought you were gonna play a soundbite.
Oh no! I mean, I can.
That man.
Wait.
I was making. Oh, okay.
I got stuff. I don't know. I don't. Do I?
Man's got stuff.
Battle. Fight!
All right. Well,
Go
we're gonna.
for broke. Go for broke.
I need Guilty Gear. I need some Guilty Gear announcements
Yeah,
in
you
there.
gotta get that GG.
I do.
That
Or also
GG.
Blaze Blue. The Wheel of Fate is turning.
Wheel
Is
of
it the-
Fate is turning.
Wheel
Rebel
of Fate?
One.
Yeah, Rebel One.
The
yeah.
Rebel Fudge. So I guess in the biggest news of actually today, this is as of 7/5, July 5th.
Mhm.
Apex, if you are playing, you more
It's
so on
fixed now.
PC.
As of recording, it's fixed.
It's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fixed like 10 hours ago, maybe I want to say, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, do you want to lead into this?
Yeah,
Explain it?
sure. So, I mean, this happened like I was sleeping when this really happened, but basically, the gist of it is that a hacker, I believe, I mean, they haven't come forward, but like at least hackers or hacker, basically took over the playlist of Apex Legends across all platforms.
Right.
Basically making so you cannot matchmake. Your matchmaking screen, which is filled with like these, instead of saying like, oh, it's King's Canyon or whatever, it says save titanfall.com. And then it says TF1 is being attacked, so is Apex. Basically locking out anyone who wants to play Apex from playing Apex. You cannot matchmake. You're just stuck in the lobby essentially.
Right.
But just to go back to explain like what is like why this is happening is for I want to say a year or more, maybe 2 years, a hacker has been disrupting Titanfall 1 servers.
Okay.
So you cannot play Titanfall 1. You can buy Titanfall 1, you can install it, and you can attempt to matchmake, but you will never matchmake, or if you are placed into a game, you're booted immediately.
And to clarify, Titanfall 1 is it's an online shooter, period.
Yeah,
There's no
there's
single
no
player, there's
campaign.
no
There's
story.
no campaign.
That's
Yeah.
just it. Yeah.
So you cannot play Titanfall 1, and this has been going on for not
Who
not a week, not like a month. This has
yeah.
been going on for months, if not years.
I think
You
this
cannot play Titanfall 1. And the problem is
Mhm.
like you can there's still so the point that like people are making is that you can still buy Titanfall 1. In fact, if you go onto Steam right now,
It's
Titanfall 1
there.
is
It is
on
there.
sale.
It's there, yeah.
It's not only is it there, it's on sale.
It's
You know
like,
what I
"Hey,
mean?
go buy it." In
Yeah.
Origins, like, "Hey, go play it."
So the problem is that EA is selling Titanfall 1 still as if it's a product you can play, but the truth is that you can't play it. And I believe Respawn is aware of this issue, but they're
Right.
just like, it's very difficult to pinpoint this, but they're just like, yeah, sorry, like we know it's happening, but sorry, but sorry that you can't play Titanfall 1 at all.
Right.
And with Titanfall 2 kind of regaining a little bit of its popularity, especially with the release of Valkyrie in Apex because of her lore, it connects back to Titanfall 2.
Right, right.
Titanfall 2 got a little bit of a resurgence, and then I don't know if it's the same hacker or something like that, but Titanfall 2 is also experiencing issues with matchmaking.
Mhm.
People are like DDoSing the servers, so your ping is extremely high
Right.
in Titanfall 2. Also, this is hearsay. I haven't had this happen or anything like that, but like people like if you happen to stream Titanfall 2, like and your username is shown on screen,
Get stream
um,
snipe.
who, whoever's like DDoSing these servers or like disrupting them can blacklist your user ID permanently. You can never log on to Titanfall 2 ever again.
This is messed up, and I mean, all this comes amid a time when it's actually been a pretty cool week for Apex in some ways. I mean, they brought back OG Kings Canyon.
Yeah,
This
it's like
Genesis event.
so Apex is in the middle of an event right now,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
But yeah, so basically, Titanfall 1 and 2 are both being disrupted by like hackers. I don't know if it's the same group or anything like that. With Respawn seemingly not doing anything about it, and especially with
right.
Titanfall 1 because you can't play that game, period, despite the fact that it's on sale still.
Well, it looks like the
So
back in May, the director of communication, Ryan Rigney, said that. I mean, in a tweet, and I'm not. He's not going to just divulge everything, but essentially,
yeah,
just saying the situation affecting the Titanfall games right now is so frustrating. But weeks of work is required to address each new stupid thing, and
right.
they do. They only have so many people. They only have so many resources, and on top of these Titanfall issues, there's the whole Apex stuff with Apex ranked. At least for Predator rank, there's DDoSing going there.
Yeah, there's some issues with Apex as well.
Uh,
But
so
then
it's. I mean, I imagine it's tough, but I don't know how. Like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like they've ignored the Titanfall? Like, do you feel like it's fraud essentially? Like, this game
so
is
I
still up on sale. It's not. It's literally unplayable, and they're not fixing it.
Yeah, and okay, so then a group. It's not so basically. SaveTitanfall.com is run by like some people who want to save Titanfall too,
Right.
but
Right.
and they say that the hacks that went on today or yesterday, they're not affiliated with them. They didn't condone them. They didn't like carry them out. So like, don't go to that
Don't
website
go
and
to
get
their
really
website.
and don't get mad at them. Like you can go to the website, but don't get like mad at them. Like they
Hmm.
didn't do the hacks. But I presume like one person got so like pissed off enough to be like, hey, if you're not going to do anything, we're going to disrupt your moneymaker. We're going to disrupt Apex because, like, if you're not going to do anything, we're going to, like, make you painfully aware that people can't play our game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what happened. That's just the gist of it. As for how Respawn could have handled it, I mean, I feel like they could have, for one, issued a warning on the store on Steam and Origin to be um,
This game is
yeah, like
it,
this game is multiplayer only. Please note that like
if
we're
servers are
experiencing server issues right now. They could have done that. They could have pulled it from sale. They could have, like I don't want to like armchair be a security expert and be like, oh, you could have addressed this. You could have fixed it. Maybe it is complicated. I don't know. I don't like work in video
right.
games and I don't work in server infrastructure or anything like that. But
Uh-huh.
like maybe they could have been like, yes, don't buy this game right now or something like that, or
Just yeah,
like
just kind of
or issued a warning.
a
Yeah,
warning. And I think that's what a lot of people want. I think that's what we've found over all of the times that these kind of issues have gone on with games is people just want clarity. What did I say that right? Can't say it.
What are you trying to say?
Clarity. There we go.
Okay.
Clarity. My mind was thinking about clairvoyance, and I'm like, that is not the word to
No,
describe what
that's
people.
not. I
That's
want
not.
that actually. Yeah, I want that. Yeah, give me that. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, people just want clarity from these companies, and we saw it in the case of Cyberpunk. Lord knows, their game just finally got back on the PlayStation Store,
Yeah, it's funny.
and it's got warnings all over it, and and
Hmm.
and and they've done the best they can to make the best out of their situation.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things. Like I said, clarity does help. It goes a long way with consumers, but what goes even further is just acknowledging that maybe you actually are fixing it. Just maybe,
Yeah.
just
Just
maybe.
the wild thing though is that the fact that Titanfall 1's been unplayable for like a calendar year, like or more, I believe. Like,
Mm,
can you imagine? I know I was on the Apex Legends subreddit today, and like opinions amusingly were pretty mixed. Some people are like, "Oh, these assholes! Like, I just want to play Apex. I don't give a shit about Titanfall."
right,
And then
right.
there's other people who are like, "Oh, actually, I didn't know Titanfall was down. Like, now I'm aware of it. Actually, well, that does suck for that does suck. Like, Respawn should do something."
Yeah.
Um, but like, I don't know how it like. Imagine if this hacker was able to block out Apex for a full calendar year. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's essentially what the people who like Titanfall. I mean, that's their game of choice. That's what they're experiencing, and so it. I mean, it sucks. I don't think that the right thing, of course, was to go and do this to another community, but I hope Apex devs, Respawn. I hope that they eh, just get on it somehow. It's
yeah,
because it sucks. Like one person did this. We already know EA servers suck as it is. We already know like we're tired of EA servers in general, right? But just the fact that one person could just kind of do this, I don't know how technically easy or not it is to
yeah,
just
that's the
to do
thing.
that.
That's the thing. It's so interesting, and opinions also are mixed about what to do with Titanfall 1 because it's just like at this point the game is really old. Actually,
It is old. It's actually
at, it's not even Titanfall 2. It's Titanfall 1. So
yeah.
like at this point, is it worth it to even try to fix these servers to try to fix the security, or like with now that like some group has like forced respawn's hand to say like would respawn just be like, okay, fuck it, like we can't fix it, like this game's dead, we're killing the servers permanently now, like that could happen, right?
That could happen. I don't think that's a. I don't think it's a bad idea if that's what they want to do to save resources and development and cost and whatever. Just it's a very like I said it's an old game. Titanfall 2 is an old game, and one is even older. Maybe just cut it. It sounds. I mean, that's really harsh, especially for a community. If after something like this, if someone were to tell me like, oh, I love this game, I've been playing it. Okay, this douche like has been ruining it for us. We hope that the people who are making it, we really love your product. Please help us. And then they come back and they're like, well, actually, it's going to cost us too much. You should just move on to the next thing that we. You should just move on to Titanfall 2. It's always there. It's going to be upkept for you.
The thing about Titanfall 2 though is that at the very least, if you buy Titanfall 2, it's like, oh,
You
multiplayer, I can't play that, but there's a campaign for it
There's a
actually.
campaign. Yeah, there's a
Titanfall
campaign.
1 though, there's like no
There's none.
offline mode, like you're fucked.
you
Yeah.
you just bought a game you literally cannot play. Hey, Dead
Yeah.
Space 3, talking to you, EA.
um So if Respawn truly cares about Titanfall, if they actually care about Titanfall, um, I don't know. Like maybe they could, if they want people to experience the story, like they could kill Titanfall 1, like the server, like the game in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then just like take the lore, take all the story, take all the missions, and like move them to Titanfall 3 if it ever comes out or something like that.
That's a
But
good. It's a good
I don't know.
suggestion. Who knows? Maybe that's something that they will consider doing, and hopefully, uh, you know, both of these communities or all the communities in respawns. I mean, this is their baby, so hopefully that they can take care of it and take care of these people who, unfortunately, like it's in every community. There's people who just are, there's hackers, and it sucks. But hopefully they can find a way to take care of them as well. Not in real life. I don't mean like take care of them.
I just don't know how easy was it for a hacker to do
Uh,
this? You know what I mean?
yeah. Uh,
Like they literally like blocked out. It was all platforms, I
it's all
believe.
yeah. It's all platforms.
They like made it like Apex. I'm talking about. Like they made it so no one could play this game. Period. Like, how do you
They
do that? Like, how do you? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man. They ran a train. That's what they did. They ran the train over all of Apex, which
but
was
yeah,
already experiencing some issues. But hopefully, anyways,
it's back now. If you want to play Apex, go ahead, go for it. But yeah,
go run the gauntlet. And also back. I mean, not like Final Fantasy 14 ever left, but I know you've been, you play FF14 at least once a week on stream, or so. But yeah, it broke its concurrent player record on Steam.
yeah,
I know.
I
I
saw
actually,
that. I want to
yeah.
know why. I want to know
So,
why.
so out of last year, it was that it set its own record of in June 2020 for
Yeah.
41,200 people on Steam, and now it is as of I guess a couple maybe the last 24 hours, 47,542. And I actually I one of the streamers, Co Carnage. I know I watch him in the morning. I'm actually hosting him right now. Uh,
Yeah,
he
shout out to my boy. Yeah.
shout out to my boy Co. But no, he was doing a charity stream, and he's actually he's a huge MMO gamer, but he ended up playing it as part of his stream, and I got a lot of people playing it or looking into playing it and everything. Apparently,
Yeah.
Asmongold also began streaming it as well, and then I guess people were, according to this story, this is from PC Gamer. It's been 218 days exactly since people have been waiting for the Chains of Domination update for WoW. So I guess, get your FF14 in. It's free up until a good chunk of content.
Oh
You
my
know,
god. Yeah,
it's
I've been
free.
playing it and like I haven't paid a dime yet.
It's free and it's
I gotta
good.
say, yeah, it's a pretty chill trial. I mean, I have a question for WoW players specifically. I've asked this on stream actually as well. But WoW and FF14, they're both MMOs, but they do play a little bit differently in terms of combat and also just in terms of content. And there's also, aside from mechanically how they're different, there's also thematically how they're different. Final Fantasy 14 is indeed a Final Fantasy game.
Right, right.
They look visually different, storytelling is different. Final Fantasy it's Final Fantasy really. There's a lot of Final Fantasy in it, which makes sense. But is there a big overlap between people who like really like WoW and people who would enjoy 14? Like, do you know? Like,
I'm,
if you well, if you don't give a shit about Japanese games, would you like 14?
I feel like WoW. I feel like, you know what? I feel like you would like it, right? I think mechanically solid. And okay,
Yeah, in
let me
terms of
back.
mechanics,
Let
sure.
me
In terms of
back. I think what it is WoW. If you started with WoW, you're heavily invested. It's hard to get out of it. It's like buying an iPhone and then buying an Android phone 10 years later. It's hard to make that switch, right? You're invested in that community, and
yeah,
that's just that. And if that's where your friends play, that's where your friends play. But I don't think that it's impossible for if you and your friends decide, hey, we want to change, we'll move over to FF14 because it is an MMO. It has a lot of similarities. But you're right. There's a different aesthetic. You know what I mean? There's a different
yeah.
feel,
It
and
looks different.
it
It like
looks
sounds
different.
different.
It
It's
sounds
very
different.
Japanese,
It's very
which
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you're going from like I wouldn't say like a Tolkien fantasy type thing, but you're going from Western
Like
fantasy
Western fantasy
to like a
to
Japanese
yeah.
interpretation of Western fantasy.
Yeah, it's almost JRPG, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's got its own aesthetic.
You
So
got hardcore elves now looking cute for some reason, and they're
yeah,
just
there's a
like
lot of sexy dragons, you know what I mean? So like
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can get past the aesthetics, I feel like what a lot of people have done is they've enjoyed the game, and the little bit I played, I actually liked it. But I come from a perspective of playing Final Fantasy,
Right.
and I think that the thing is like even though it is Final Fantasy to an extent, like I feel like I could almost wave that off, like if I didn't know anything about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I do think there are people that play Final Fantasy 14 a lot, but actually have no intention of playing a Final
An actual
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And that it is contained to itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Final
I mean,
Fantasy
there's a lot of
14.
crossover events in 14, but like you don't, it doesn't
You don't need to
matter.
go and play
Yeah,
whatever
you don't
that
need
boss
to
came
play
from.
like whatever crossover. Like I remember a couple years ago when Lightning Returns came out, there was a crossover event for 14. Like Lightning appeared in like the world actually.
Yeah.
You can get the what is it? The car from 15, the regalia or whatever it's called. What is it?
The Bromobile.
Yeah, you can get that as a mount in 14. Yeah. I think you get Cloud's motorcycle as well. You can get there's a lot of crossover stuff, but I mean that's just fan service essentially. It's
But
not
I mean, if you
story.
if
Yeah.
you look at both of the games, right? If you played Warcraft 3, any of the Warcraft series, you had an attachment to those characters, and when you came into WoW, it was like, hey, it's a world of these characters.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
the
then
same world. Yeah.
and then Final Fantasy, it's the exact same. Like the enemies carry over into there, so you're like, oh, I
It's the
know this
same. It's
enemy,
just
and
like chocobos are chocobos, like cactars are cactar. The gold saucer is actually in 14, so
yeah, and
um
so you
there's
get
like the boss raids are fun. Like Kefka is a raid boss, actually. The Doom Train is a raid boss. Yeah, so
yeah, I think if as long as people are kind of open to giving it a chance with their friends. I don't know how it works. Like if you just go in by yourself, you're like, I want to change from WoW to Final Fantasy
14.
14 by
Yeah,
yourself. It seems like a hard transition to make.
it might be. I'm not sure. I've actually never played WoW before. I've only played 14.
Because
So
I would argue that even harder would be like WoW to Fantasy Star Online.
oh
That would
yeah,
surprise
no,
the mess
that's
out of me.
yeah,
That would
that's
surprise me if someone did that. Like,
yeah,
oh
it would. You know what? If anyone listening right now, you started on WoW or any game like that, and now you're playing PSO2, like hit us up in the comments, hit us up on Anchor.fm. Like we want to know like
yeah,
what your opinion,
it's
why
really,
exactly, and
yeah,
also
like
why, and also why.
why? Because like even for me, like I tend to kind of stay towards more action oriented MMOs. That's why Blue Protocol, like for me, is like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I'm more along the lines of, if I could invest time, I would be more along with Korean MMOs, but I don't like the pay structure for them. But
Yeah, and the pacing as well. If you don't pay for,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, part of okay. I don't know about you, but like, what gets me into a video game, what gets me initially interested in the game is first if it visually catches me.
Right,
So,
right.
the art style is a pretty defining factor. I don't want to play like hundreds of hours into an MMO and be like, actually, like I hate the world, like I hate the characters. They
Yeah.
look ugly.
It's like
So
you don't want to be in a place where you don't like to see it. Literally, like you
yeah,
got
so to me, FF14 is nice. It's a nice world to look at. It's pretty beautiful. The characters are like good. Like you can get some pretty attractive looking characters in FF14.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Same thing with Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol is
Gosh,
so
man,
anime. It's
so
so
good.
anime. Like it's like a moving anime.
I was
It looks so good.
watching Scarlet Nexus today, like
Yep. Mhm.
through I was watching the stream, and I was like, you know what? I mean, it is a game of kill rooms and environments. I mean, it's an action game, but like some of the stuff I was just like, okay, it feels really cool sometimes. Some of these environments and like the way they look, but like, man, Blue Protocol, geez, I don't know. It's because it's so vibrant, right? It's so
Yeah,
lively.
it's like a moving anime. The characters,
Oh
the
man,
cutscenes are amazing in Blue Protocol. We can talk about Blue Protocol all the time, but
I
like
mean, it's just an anime. It's
yeah,
just an
like the
anime.
cutscenes in the beta, that we were in, it's like I would be if you just gave me a recording of the cutscene, I'd be like, oh, this is just like a cut. This is an anime cutscene, but that's real
The
time
closest thing,
3D.
the closest thing to that would just be Guilty Gear. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I
like
mean?
Guilty Gear. It's a lot like Guilty
That's
Gear.
the
Yeah,
closest. That's the closest thing, or like a Cyber Connect 2 game. If you any of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja series, or
they look like moving animes. Yeah,
right, right.
yeah, it's really well done. Like very tricky, like clever use of a 3D model and shaders to
Hmm.
make it look flat, despite the fact that it's a 3D model.
Right.
So, um, the point I was making, sorry, is that like first the game has to catch me visually, and then I'm like, okay, is it fun to play? Is combat fun? Am I going to enjoy grinding? Am I going to enjoy going from point A to point B?
Yeah.
And if all those match up, then yeah, it's definitely a game that I want to check out. So I think for me, PSO2, Star Ocean 2, catches my eye visually. Like it's so anime if you've seen it. Like
It's
it
like a little
just
bit too
looks,
anime for me. The older
it's
ones catch
so
the
anime.
older art style catches my eye, but the current one, like character design wise, doesn't.
It's so anime. It's so anime.
It's very anime.
But I actually don't think I enjoy the combat for PSO2. Like it just seems to me it's really unsatisfying. Like it's really
Which is like the opposite for me, because it's more action oriented. It's just more like a hack and slash type thing. So it seems like it's like it can get, I wouldn't say deep or anything like that, but it just seems like a lot of fun to just kind of like go and explore the world. But yeah, Blue Protocol is the medium between it all.
yeah, I want the game to come out. I mean,
We don't know when.
When was the
Like,
beta? 2020? That was like a full year ago, right?
yeah, it might have been a full year.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a full year ago, if not the
I
year
think it
before.
was. I
Was it the
think it
year?
was. No,
Was
I
it the
don't think
year
it was
before?
2019. It wasn't 2019. No, it was
Okay, it
2020.
was just
Yeah.
2020. Okay, okay.
I think so. I
We're
want to say
gonna
yeah.
we're gonna hope so. But moving on in announcements, we're gonna blaze through these. Heart is blazing still. Okay, that was a
Or
bad
20
one.
blaze up.
Blaze up, people. Don't do drugs. But
Unless
yeah,
it's legal.
unless it's legal. There we go.
It's like parts of America and Canada, basically. Yeah.
But yeah, NetherRealm has announced that they've officially stopped support. Well, DLC for Mortal Kombat 11. There's not going to be any further DLC, and they've moved on to their next game. Which who knows if it's going to be like an Injustice or the what people are kind of hoping for, something with Marvel or Marvel and DC. I mean, it could be kind of anything at this point. But
Do you think Marvel? Do you think I don't think NetherRealm would ever get the Marvel life, to be honest, just because Marvel is now Disney and Disney's so concerned with their image.
so what I've heard over the past couple of years, and it happened right after Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out, is
Yeah.
that Marvel gained like complete control over the games. Like Marvel Games is its own thing.
Oh, so Disney has no say in
So
it?
Disney, yeah, they don't need to check with Disney anymore. So like after that, like the Ultimate Alliance game that came out, like things started looking more like Marvel characters. If you look at like the even the Avengers, well, Guardians of the Galaxy, not the Avengers. The Guardians of the Galaxy game is like more akin to the comic book characters.
Yeah, and it looks less like the movie, right?
It looks, but yeah. So it
Yeah.
seems like they have a lot more say. So if they did, it would be a huge hit. They did something with Marvel. If they did something Marvel versus DC, that'd just be
You mean
insane.
NetherRealm, right?
NetherRealm, yeah.
I just don't. I just feel like I think NetherRealm has like a kind of a unique what is it, like, tone? Like it's gritty, it's dark,
It's
really.
gritty, yeah,
Honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it suits
And
DC. It suits DC.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it suits DC. I agree with you. I just don't know if Marvel would be okay with their licensed properties being in a darker kind of
I mean, I
world,
assume
guess,
that
yeah.
even if it was just like a Marvel game by itself, like a Marvel Fighter, they would have to adapt it and do something different. I feel like it wouldn't be the same as an Injustice. But then what would it be? You know what I mean?
I think it certainly could be like a fighting game for sure, but I just don't know if it would do like the zoom in, like here's your spine breaking
No,
X-ray.
I feel like that would be weird. That'd be weird.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't, because that's a staple of Mortal
Unless
Kombat.
unless it's Marvel villains. Like the game is called Marvel Villains, and you get like Venom and Carnage and Magneto and just all the
Yeah.
villains, and like that would make sense. It's like, okay, these dudes they out to do, that's what they do.
I
They will break your
think it could
spine.
look gritty for sure. I just don't know if they would do like certainly no decapitation. I don't think so.
No,
But
no.
I don't even know if they would do the X-ray. They could do the X-ray like leg breaks maybe, but I don't know if
think
they would do like
in-
I don't know if they do the X-ray like skull, like, shattering.
No,
I don't know.
I think
I don't
there's
know
a
if they would-
limit. I mean, even in
Yeah.
DC or what was it, Injustice or whatever,
Injustice,
like
yeah.
they've
Yeah.
done. There's only so far that they actually took those X-rays.
Like the brutality.
The
for it.
brutality,
It's
yeah.
It's not that brute. It's not Mortal Kombat level, like someone's getting literally sawed in half or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we're gonna do it like 5 different times, like in 5 different ways, and this is the same. Like, oh yeah, you broke your back. Now you broke the next part of your spine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that it's crazy. And then moving on, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is for
yeah.
PS5. Yo, PS4, PS5, but yo,
Yes.
man, it looks so good. Oh man, it looks good. Why does it look so
I
good?
kind of wish there was a PC port, but hey, that's fine.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, maybe there's going to be a PC port when they announced it, when it was rumored. But I mean, they're really going to town with this, with
Yeah,
up to 60
I know.
FPS. They're re-lip syncing the voices for Japanese voices,
Which is cool. Which is very cool.
awesome.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. They're adding a new not little, but an island to expand on the story, Iki Island,
Mhm.
and that's going to tie into Jin's backstory. They're going to tie in all the PlayStation 5 things, adaptive triggers, 3D surrounds, all that stuff that you want. But this looks so good. Why is this not on PC?
Probably because they're now Sony first party, and Sony first party means they're like, yeah, this isn't coming to
They,
PC for at least like another year.
come on, come
At
on, just
least like another year.
please, just give. This is like, I'm sorry, this is like I need to go buy a PS5 for goodness sake. I literally thought to myself, dang man,
I mean, we're getting more games for PS5, and I've said this before. Like, I'm not like I will buy a PS5. I'm not like fuck PS5s, PC left for gaming for life. But like, I just need more games to play. And if this never comes to PC, okay, I guess that's just like another reason to buy PS5. So give me like four or five more games that I have to get on PS5, and then I'll go buy a
question is
PS5. Yeah.
next Persona,
Yep.
is that PS5 or is that Switch? Or Switch
That's a
HD,
good,
whatever.
that's a good question.
They do flip flop every once in a while, but Persona has typically been on
Sony.
PlayStation. Yeah.
And so Persona's been Sony, and then SMT Shin Megami Tensei has been Nintendo.
Well, yeah. After it flopped over.
So SMT 5, which isn't out yet, but will be out. That's on Switch. SMT 4 has been on 3DS. SMT 3, well, that's really old at this point, but that was PlayStation.
PS2, yeah. And then
Yeah.
all the side ones, Digital Devil Saga. I don't know if that's
Well, DDS, yeah, that's Sony.
Yeah.
That's also a different era. That's when Nintendo just maybe wasn't as attractive as a platform. But no, like Strange Journey, that kind of stuff, Devil Summoner, that's all Nintendo actually. But
Yeah.
Persona from the beginning has been Sony.
right. Well, I mean, hopefully that we'll get some inklings on that. I didn't read too much about the upgrade, but it looks like it's going to be if
Dynamic
you did,
resolution targeting 4K, I believe, 60
Right.
FPS.
60
Yeah.
FPS. Yes.
I think they did. I think they did clarify though that it's dynamic, which means depending on the action on screen, it could drop below 4K.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean they'll do what they can to make it looking good at all times. But
Got faith with these this man. Okay, well, Sony buys Nixis, which is a studio that does PC ports.
yeah, that's what they're known for.
They're known for.
What does that mean? Maybe that means we're getting Ghost of Tsushima on PC. Like I don't
Hey,
know. I don't know.
Hey, let's go. And then of course, Housemarque.
We talked. I think we already talked about it. But like, what Sony game would you want on PC?
Oh
if you
yeah,
could
we
get
last
like
week, and I couldn't think of
yeah.
anything because like I feel like they've already done them to an extent.
Like would you do Last of Us? Would you do like what would you want? Like
we've got all these like PS5,
Uncharted.
Just do them all. Why do I need one? Do them all. Do them all.
I would like for me personally, I want to say Uncharted would be a fun one on PC.
Maybe it's coming.
Sorry, what?
I said maybe it's coming.
Oh yeah, I think the rumor that it is coming actually.
I mean,
yeah.
I assume that they're gonna just keep rolling them out slowly and surely, like 1 or 2 a year. I think is what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I just want them all. Then I won't get a PS
on PC.
Yeah, then I won't buy a PS5.
You'll never buy a PS5.
See?
I said, was it the podcast that I said this on, or it must have been the podcast? I don't think it was on stream or anything like that. But like, yeah, I said like if there were like next major updates, Sony was like, okay, with this update, we're introducing backwards compatibility, all the way back to PS1. I'll be okay. I'm buying a PS5.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's like you could just.
I think we were talking about that if they had done something with PlayStation Now, like and PS Plus, like throw in PS Plus and then add all of that huge backlog into streaming.
Yeah. Also, but like with emulator, because like PS1, PS2 would be a software emulator on the console,
right,
and then PS3 especially, as well would be with the emulator. PS4 runs natively on a PS5. But if they were just like, oh, with this major update, if you have a disc-based PS5, you could just put your PS1 disc in here. It'll run through an emulator that we have with this software update.
I almost feel like if they did that, that would be hype. That would be hype.
If they did that, I'd be like, okay, fine, Sony, you win. Like now I'm buying a PS5 because I got a bunch of games behind me that if I want to play them, I have to run them through.
Is this called the childhood argument of your parents saying throw your games away or sell them? You're not. What are you doing with them? I've heard that so many times, and
I
like,
always
why do
kept
I
them,
still
but
have
yeah,
them? You know, I still
yeah.
have mine. I've got like 100 something games in bins.
Yeah, so I mean, if I want to play PS2, I can. I have a PS2 hooked up like right now, actually. And if I want to play it on my like through HDMI, essentially, or if I want to capture it, I want to stream it, I use an upscaler. But and it works fine. But the upscaler that I use has a handshaking issue where when the resolution of a game changes, so for example, if it goes into a cutscene or something like that, it desyncs and the image is lost, and it's kind of irritating.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Until it picks it back up again.
yeah,
That is kind of
you might have noticed that when I was streaming the bouncer.
great
And
choice. Great choice.
the game has like a ton of cutscenes, but every time I would enter and exit a cutscene, my capture card would lose the signal because it would desync. It would lose the handshake because the resolution changes. Um, and that's really kind of annoying, especially if you're streaming it or trying to capture it.
It's
So I would love for Sony to be like, we have a PS2 software emulator included in our software update, like version 4
is
or
that? I
whatever.
mean, is that just a licensing issue or something that they just can't do it, or they
Uh,
just don't want to? I
no,
mean,
because
I don't know
Sony,
because I
because
mean, for
Sony
PS3 they
owns
did it.
because Sony owns the source code to a fucking PS2. Like they own it. It's their platform.
Oh no, no.
So
I mean the games themselves. Like,
oh no.
yeah.
No, it's not a license. I mean, if they were to okay, yeah, if they were to sell the game as is on the store on like the PSN, then that would be an issue of licensing. Because then like
Oh
the
wait, but technically you own. Never mind. That's right because you own that game.
right. So if they were
Yeah.
just to
So you
sell
have the
like
license. Yeah.
if they were just going to sell like the bouncer on the PSN, then certainly that's an issue with Square and whoever owns the rights to sell that. But if Sony was just to say like in our next software update, we have a PS2 emulator on the console, and that's all it is. They're not selling games. They're just saying like if you
Yeah.
have a disc,
You can
then
pop it in and it's fine.
that's fair game.
That
That's
would
fair
be
game.
something.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be that would restart initiatives into the well, you know what that would do, honestly. That would kind of devalue, and they don't have them on sale. That's the counter argument. That would devalue digital downloads for a little bit. I imagine the used games resale market for older stuff would just shoot up for PlayStation titles. Like just rocket.
Yeah,
But
that'd be so good. I would love that so much. I would buy a PS5 for that because that's if they're like you can
especially
play.
if it's not region locked too. I've got like some games I want to try that I do own, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, I think even if it was region locked, well, I don't know. To be fair,
No,
like
you
my
don't want a
PS
region lock. You don't want a region lock. You know, don't nah.
I think for PS2 and PS1, I think the region lock might be an issue because the games are region locked, but the console technically is.
Nah. No, PS2 was.
PS2 was, PS1 was, but PS3 wasn't.
Wasn't. Right.
Well, technically it was, but no games except for one used it. And that game is Persona 4 Arena. That's the only game that has region locking, like period.
Oh
but
man.
but the PS3 technically, well, even the PS4 technically is, but just no games enforce it, which is great. But
Thanks, guys. Thanks for not enforcing.
yeah, no. I mean, like if Sony was like, we have emulators, you can just play your games and enjoy them, because that's what Microsoft is doing. Like that's really good. You can play Xbox games on your.
I gotta
Xbox.
say, like I was watching Maximilian Dude and you know his friends play. They were like, hey, you know, we're gonna play some games for in celebration of the 4th of July. Just goof around, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And you load up Game Pass, and it's just like sprawl down on Game Pass. But then it's like, okay, you know what? Let's sprawl down the Xbox library or 360 library. It's like, oh yeah, let's go play Red Dead Redemption or what? Let's go play like something that's like even older, whatever.
Like 15 years old at
Like
this point, right?
Yeah. I think they played some light gun game, which you know was from Xbox.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
it's backwards compatible all the way back to the first gen, which is very impressive.
So it definitely has it for moments like that. I wouldn't say like for majority of the cases. For a lot of people wouldn't use it, but for you know those special moments, those times, it really does help. It really is nice, and I think that's where yeah.
For people like me, like I get nostalgic over like older JRPGs. Like I want to play Chrono Cross, right? And I want to play like Persona 3, which has no remake, right? If you want to play Persona 3, it's a PS2 game. like
might just be a conspiracy, man. Just hit that
like
conspiracy up.
I want to like play these older games that are just very difficult to play. So I know like Square is doing a decent job with remakes. Like Legend of Mana recently came out. That's a PS1 game. Um, and
But
Alice
just
put out SMT3, which is great. That's a well-loved JRPG. So I don't know. We're getting some games, but just not
we're yeah,
obviously not everything. Yeah.
they're trickling in. But yeah, I guess to kind of close it out, we'll just say, congrats to Housemark for joining the Sony Studios. I've been a huge fan of them ever since Super Stardust HD on PS3. Like I got to top 50 in the world, me and my friend. Like
Oh,
we
really?
played the mess out of that game, and they've made some of the best arcade twin stick shooters or twin stick games. Period. After that, during the earthquake here in Japan, me and my friend, we played Dead Nation. I played that game
Oh, yeah.
on normal, hard, and whatever the harder difficulty after that was. Like we just demolished it. I've played a couple other games. I've always respected the studio, and Returnal. They a lot of people really just got to know them, and I'm just glad. Hey, if they did not make their money back on Returnal in terms of, and I couldn't imagine that they did. There's not enough PS5s out there, and I don't know how many people were willing to pay the $70 to take the jump in there. But it's a solid game. I enjoyed watching it streamed, and I still want to play it. Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, Sony, bring that on the PC too, bro. Bring it on the PC.
Are you at what point are you gonna get a PS5? Like when are you gonna be like, hey, I'll buy it
When
now?
I can openly buy it. When I can just go in the store and just buy a PS5,
Like regardless of game library, or it
regardless
has
of
to be
game
like
library. Yeah,
really
because
even if
there's
there's like nothing to play, you're like, oh, I'll just get it.
well,
Sure.
I mean, there's stuff on it for me to play right now. Like all the like I said, I'll start off with Returnal. Honestly, Returnal, and then
Well, they're
probably
bringing that PS4 though. Like you don't have to get a PS5.
wait. Returnal's coming to PS4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Didn't they announce they like back announce? Am I thinking about a different game?
I think you're thinking about a different game.
Returnal is coming. It's a PS5 game for sure. Oh yeah, exclusively.
Yeah, they can't do that
Sorry,
one.
I'm thinking of a different game. Yeah, I like it was a PS5 game that are like,
Oh, it's
we're going to.
Godfall.
Oh, is it Godfall?
It's Godfall. Yeah,
Okay,
Godfall is got now a PS4 version. That makes no sense.
okay,
But
great. Yeah, awesome.
I don't know what.
But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so you can play that. I mean, like for me, I mean, I would probably play Demon Souls and
Oh yes, Demon Souls. I need to. Ooh, yes.
FF7 DLC. Not
Yes,
even a
yeah,
full
yeah.
game.
Hold up, yeah, yeah. Not
even a
even
full
DLC,
game.
but when part 2 comes out, I got to play that too. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's like going forward. It's I guess it's the thing of I need to buy it so I can play it first, as opposed to waiting a year or 2 years for it to potentially come out on PC or well, PC. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know if Final Fantasy 11 is gonna 7 Part 2
7.
is gonna come out a year later. We're
Well,
still
there was
waiting on the
that-
Xbox version.
There was the Epic like game store like leak. Who knows if that's anything, if that means anything. I don't know, but yeah.
I think that's the number one reason, honestly. It's just because like, hey, I want to like when some of this stuff comes out, I want to play it now, and it's not a lot. I think that's the best part, and it might not be for a lot of people. For me, I've got a huge backlog, right? So I'm always going through my backlog, but I buy games when I'm gonna play them. Like when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I knew
You
yeah,
just
I'm
played
like,
it immediately.
you know what? I'm gonna play this immediately. So I bought it and I played it. And when these games come out, they're so far between right now that it has that same thing. Like I really want to play Returnal. I'll buy it. I'll play it then. I might not ever pick it up again, but I played it, finished it, enjoyed it, and now I can just go back to my backlog.
So like let's say you walk into a store, like let's say 2-3 months from now, you just walk into a store, you just happen to see a PS5 on the shelf.
But I
Are
have
you
my
just
money
like-
ready.
You're just like, oh, I'm just credit card, like immediately just gonna buy it. Like no question. You just buy it.
No. If like I said, if it is a situation where there are multiple PS5s on a store shelf, and I can go in any day of the week and it's stocked, that's when I'm going to buy it.
Okay, so when
So
it's
still
like,
it's still a ways off potentially.
so when supply has matched demand.
Matched demand, yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't even do that in Japan. Honestly, they don't sell them in the stores.
The lottery system. Yeah.
They don't
If you
sell
go
them
to
in the
Amazon-
stores.
If you go to Amazon.co.jp, or if you go to Yodobashi or Big Camera, like their websites, and you try to go to Game Hontai, like the console,
Yeah,
it's like not.
it's just
on the
not there.
site.
If you
It's,
go
like,
in,
not, yeah.
yeah, and if you go in the actual store, even like I went to Yamada Denki this weekend. It just says we do not sell this console in this store.
Yeah.
Please
Like,
enter the
don't ask
raffle
us, like,
online.
stop-
Yeah.
Yeah, stop asking. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that does factor into it too. But yeah, other than that, I guess we'll wrap it on up. This is a good episode.
Yeah, TGS was a section for some reason, but hey, you can put that in the show notes.
I don't know what
Yeah.
TGS just happened. TGS, you know what? Yo, Kojima.
Yeah, you call me on my personal phone, Kojima.
Next time you want us to talk about this, you let us know. We'll
Yeah,
make an episode for you and
to
invite
my
you.
boy, to my boy Hideo. Yeah,
We'll even call in the kid. We'll call in the degenerate kid
yeah.
to
Okay,
come
that
in as
sounds good.
backup.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything you want to close with?
No, I don't know. I guess play Power Wash Simulator. It's honestly surprising. It's funner than you think it is, but yeah. And follow me on Twitch. That's it.
There we go. And I guess for me, remember you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram. We don't use the Instagram. I haven't used Instagram in a long time. I'm not going to lie, but please follow on there. People are like, why would we follow you if you don't use it? Well, fine. Follow the Twitter because I use that. We use that
Yep.
at UGP_cast. And then you can also for sure subscribe or leave comments to the YouTube channel. Just look up Unknown Games Podcast. We're the only one out there.
Actually, that's probably not true.
No,
actually,
we are.
Oh,
We're the
really?
only Unknown Games.
Oh, okay.
The S is very important, people.
Yeah. All right.
Or don't put in gaming because that's not us either.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Until next week, episode 92. We will catch you. Yeah, we'll catch you later for more chaos. Where hopefully we won't be out of options, but we'll be full of fun and have some games for you to play or watch. Like, I still didn't talk about clowns. Darn it. Anyways.
Okay. Maybe you don't have to right now, but yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later, everybody.
All right. Sounds good. Peace.
Peace.